Okay, so the Baltimorons and a couple other films that I've watched just over the years where it's like a self-contained story, right? Takes place like on one day. To me, I feel like those are really hard to write, just because how do you stay in that space mentally, right? Versus like if you're telling a story that maybe I don't know spans 2 weeks, 2 years, 3 years, it's a bit different. You can use different emotions, you can use different experiences. Now I don't have any sort of experience in writing at all, but I went through a lot of like difficult moments in life, I would say, over the past 6 years, and I found myself writing to express something. You know, I don't necessarily know how to articulate well, whether it's like opinions, emotions, just anything really. So I write. Not necessarily, the intention was never to write a feature, it was never to write a short. I just found myself writing about two different couples, and one of them, it was like, they were just having a really, really, really bad argument of pretty much just resentment and a lot of different things that they both feel like they've had to sacrifice over the years, and just feeling unseen. And then the other couple, they're in therapy, right? Marriage counseling, the whole 9 yards. They wanted to stay together. And at one point, I just merged the two and they became one couple, right? So the feature I'm writing essentially is present day, and then it takes place over 2 days, present day, and then 5 years ago, right? The 5 years ago, it's the argument or whatnot, and then present day, not necessarily that they're trying to work things out. Maybe back then, so I started writing it in 2022. I would say I made maybe 90% progress in terms of a first draft, right? And yeah, I've just gone through other things in life since then, you know? So it's like, it came from a place of honesty, brutal honesty. And I felt closure writing it. Now I go back and I read it and I feel very detached from it. My question was, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you stay genuine to the message maybe that you initially started with, or your vision, right? Your initial vision. Do you stray from it when you feel like you no longer like align with it, or do you tweak it? Like, how do you do it?
That is an incredible question. Thank you for the vulnerability and honesty around it. I do struggle with it too. I struggle with it. I struggle with old things that I've written that feel like the old me. And whether or not I should update it or whether I should let it lie, you know. My instinct is that this piece of art is more your therapy than it is an actual piece of art. And not that our art can't be therapy. A lot of people will say that it's better to wait until you really have cleared it 100% to go back and actually do it or make it. My instinct with your screenplay is you should share it with people and ask them what you should do with it. You should share it and have people read it and see if other people are moved to engage with it. Perhaps give it to a director that you like and know and would want to make the film if they would be interested in it, and just be like, would you read this and tell me what you think about it? Because it does feel like it comes from a deep part of you, and it's so close to you that you're not totally sure exactly what to do. And it sounds like you've moved on from it too as a person, not necessarily as an artist, you know. But it is a really tricky thing. And, you know, I joked about those 7 screenplays that I have laying around. They're babies that are just floating around calling my name a lot of the times. And it's really torturous to have them out there. But I know that it's not right for me right now to make any of them. And part of it is because I've changed a lot. And a big part of it is the world has changed so tremendously in the last 5 years. I mean, it's unbelievable what we've all gone through in the last 5 years, you know? So, you know, So first question for you is, what are you working on now?
So I've been, I kind of switched over to acting.
Yeah.
The past couple of years. There's
Great.
actually 2 projects I'm currently working on. And I want to take this moment to just say thank you to everyone for giving me the opportunity to even be here. Because honestly, again, I have no experience. I didn't grow up doing theater or anything like that. But just this community here is like incredible, like insanely incredible.
That's awesome.
The Actors
Cheers to
Apothecary.
you guys.
The Actors Apothecary, they give me so many opportunities. Sam Medina, he cast me in his project. Emily Carver. Hey Juniper, it premieres next week or 2 weeks in New York. And I
Nice.
play a lead in it. Again, no experience, nothing. And a lot of it was improv. We shot it in 5 days.
That's great.
You know, and for me personally, I'll be honest with you, when I started working on, my script or whatever, the intention was never to make it a movie. My intention is still not to make it a movie. Like you said, it is more therapy. But to me, it helps me grow as an actor. Just being able to like express myself in that regard, because a lot of times as an actor, you don't get to choose the words you say.
Exactly.
And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the auditions I get, I read the script and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a position to do that, but I'm doing it anyways because it's like I don't want to say those words, you know. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like I'll just write it instead. But it's always like I take advantage of workshops like these or whatever, just to talk to other filmmakers. Like, you've been writing for longer than I've been on this planet, and that's incredible.
2 minutes? Just kidding, just kidding.
It's so
Fully aware.
so it just no, but it's like that's incredible. I'm sure you've gone through so much in the past 33 years as a writer, and you've experienced so much. And if something took you 2 weeks to write, maybe now you could write it in 2 days. I don't know, but it's really cool to hear about your experience and hear about your process, and just hearing everyone else talk about it. So for me, yeah, I really wanted to ask that question because I feel like that's something, even as an actor, I struggle with being in that the right mental state. And the right mental state is probably not the way to describe it, but the one that feels most like genuine to me or true to me, yeah, because there's so much that happens in the world, like you said, and it obviously impacts me. And sometimes I find it difficult, and I'll go back and maybe like read what I've already written, and I feel something, but it's like it's not the same feeling. Or even when I go back and watch a movie, like Blue Jay, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That's a movie that I watched with my wife in 22, I think. At the time, my son was a year and a half, and we had just had my daughter, and it was 2 years after I lost my mom. And after the film, like, she was in a good mood, and she was like, imagine if we did it in high school. And for me, it was completely different. I was like, thank God we didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
After watching a movie like that, like high school relationships, and just like the way that film ends too, to me, I felt like they were, grieving a relationship that could have been, or a relationship that they had. Versus like, a lot of what I was writing was more so grieving the relationship while they were still in it. Like grieving the person that you're with, grieving what you think it could have,
Yeah.
it could be. And I don't know. I mean, when you're writing your scripts, how much of it is your experience versus someone else's experience, like someone close to you, like a friend or a relative?
It's all in the soup of shared experience, but it does ultimately, when I'm writing and directing something that's an original piece of art that I'm trying to put in the world, it is something that is at least resonating with something I don't understand about myself usually, and that I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to come to terms with, whatever it may be. And I may use other people's experiences or whatever, actors, stories, they align, you know it, right? I hear you when you're saying you get these auditions and you're like, it doesn't align with me. I don't want to say these words. I don't want to do that. I think what we're all doing and what you're doing here right now is you're trying to tune in to a feeling that opens your soul and opens your heart and brings you closer to people, expresses yourself. You're on a journey of self-expression. That's ultimately what we're all trying to do here. Our jobs get in the way, things get in the way, sickness gets in the way, but it's all part of that process. We're all becoming, And so I think I commend you on writing that screenplay. I would say, how do you know it's even a screenplay? Maybe you're going to write books. Maybe you're going to write a play. Maybe you're going to write short stories. Maybe it'll be poetry. Who knows what it'll be? But I love where you're at, where you are. What I am sensing from you is you're surprised to be here right now in this
So surprised.
really cool place. And I think it's really cool for all of us to see, because you are embodying the spirit of like becoming an artist. And I have no answers for you other than keep going. You're doing it. You know what you want and what you need, and it's all a mystery, and you're just exploring it. And as an actor, like, my advice to you would be, do those auditions and do them your way. Your challenge with shitty words and shitty stories is to walk into that room and make yourself come alive. Not to give them what they want. Don't ever give them what they want. They don't even know what they want. And I, as a director, I don't even know what I want. I want you to come in and show me how much more it could be. And I think that's what real artistry is. And you have that spirit. And I'm excited to see what you're going to do.